So I got Max Holloway getting a stoppage around round 4.
I think Max is taking.
You think Max gonna win?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But don't count Charles never out. He's dangerous in any moment of the fight. He can.
Max Bless gets it done by decision.
I think there is no other BMF than Max Holloway. You know, I mean, obviously Charles Oliveira, another incredible fighter as well. But yeah, like I say, just Max with like his range finding and his very slick striking, and you know, I think he'll be able to avoid the jiu-jitsu and yeah, just land his shots. So yeah, I see Max taking it.
Excitement is increasing as Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira are all set for their upcoming BMF clash on February 7th. MMA pros are also excited for this matchup because this is probably the last time these two legends will face each other inside the cage.
I'm gonna do what I do best, get my hand raised, and you know, if I can do something like a 300 moment again, oh my gosh, you know, the world would be in the palm of our hands. You know, that's what we plan on doing.
Ilia Topuria expects Max Holloway to come out on top against Charles Oliveira, emphasizing that the Brazilian is always a threat and capable of ending the fight with a sudden submission. Still, he leans toward Holloway, believing Max's overall game gives him the edge.
Who's gonna win that fight? I love Charles because of his personality. He's such an amazing human being. But I think Max is taking.
You think Max gonna win?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But don't count Charles never out. He's dangerous in any moment of the fight. He can just submit you at any time.
However, Charles Oliveira confidently stated that Max Holloway wouldn't make it to 5 rounds with him, pointing out that after already earning 4 decision victories in his career, he has no plans to let this fight reach the final bell.
A finish one way or another in the first round, or sort of a classic 5-round back and forth? What do you think is more likely between you and Max?
Olhando para o estilo de vocês, o que você acha que é mais provável de acontecer? Nocaute no primeiro round, seja para qual lado for, ou porra, clássico de 5 rounds?
Cara, na realidade, eu acho que os 5 rounds ele não chega. Eu sou um cara que procura o tempo inteiro, eu caço o tempo inteiro, é isso que eu quero fazer. Eu tenho, nem sei quantas lutas, mas eu sei que eu tenho 4 lutas que são na decisão. Então eu não quero acrescentar mais uma na decisão. Ou eu vou nocautear, ou eu vou finalizar. Eu vou procurar isso o tempo inteiro.
Man, I don't think he's going to make it 5 rounds. I'm a guy who's always looking to finish the fight. I'm a guy who's always looking to end it. And I think I have, 4 decisions in my career. I'm not looking to add a 5th one. So I really think that I'm going to be able to finish the fight before the 5th round.
Michael Bisping breaks down this fight and predicts Charles Oliveira will pressure Max Holloway relentlessly, walking him down without hesitation. Bisping highlights Oliveira's confidence in his skills, his power, jiu-jitsu, and Muay Thai, and calls him a true, well-rounded fighter. He's also struck by Oliveira's physical presence, noting that at 155 pounds, the Brazilian always looks impressively big and imposing.
Charles Oliveira is going to walk him down because he isn't scared of anyone. He believes in his power. Like, for example, look at that shot that he dropped Justin Gaethje with, okay? He believes in his jiu-jitsu. He believes in his Muay Thai, okay? And he's a real fighter, and he's a good size at 155 pounds. Every time I see Charles Oliveira, I'm blown away by how big he is.
Michael Bisping expects Max Holloway to stand his ground rather than retreat, relying on sharp footwork and angle cutting to stay out of trouble. He describes Oliveira as a relentless force, pressing forward to lock in takedowns, body locks, or back control and drag opponents into his grappling game, a scenario no one wants to face. Bisping notes that while Holloway can defend submissions and even attempt his own, once Oliveira gains control, the fight shifts entirely into the Brazilian's realm, making him extremely dangerous.
Max Holloway isn't going to be running, because he's not that type of guy. He believes in himself, but he will cut angles, he will use educated and intelligent footwork, and he will stay out of harm's way. Charles Oliveira wants to walk forward with a blitz and then get a hold of you with a body lock, drag you down, jump on your back, get a takedown, single leg, whatever it is. And then from there, he goes to work, and you're in his world. And that's not where anyone wants to be. Doesn't matter who you are. Max Holloway can defend the submission. Of course he can. Max Holloway can do submissions as well. And I'm not saying that Max Holloway can't drop him and get a rear naked choke like George St. Pierre did to me, right?
Michael Bisping believes that while getting dropped can disorient anyone, Charles Oliveira may struggle against Max Holloway's superior striking. Bisping highlights Holloway's speed, precision, and overall ring IQ, noting his ability to control space and read the octagon. He expects Max's straight punches to keep Oliveira at a distance, allowing Holloway to gradually take control. Bisping predicts the fight tilts in Holloway's favor as it progresses.
When you get dropped, your equilibrium is rocked and you don't know what's going on. However, I do think that Charles Oliveira will struggle. I do think Max Holloway is the better puncher. I do think he has faster hands. I think he has better striking in general, better ringsmanship, better craftsmanship, better understanding of the geography inside the octagon, and the straight shots that Max predominantly throws will keep Charles Oliveira at bay, and Max Holloway will slowly start to take over the longer the fight goes. So I got Max Holloway getting a stoppage around round 4. Now,
moreover, Tim Welch expects Charles Oliveira to storm forward and force a fast, chaotic fight built on constant pressure, but Welch believes Max Holloway stays composed in that environment. Tim points to Holloway's cleaner boxing and sharper footwork, suggesting Max holds the technical edge in the striking exchanges. Welch also believes Holloway's long history against elite competition prepares him for Oliveira's aggressive style, making it unlikely that the pressure overwhelms him. While Oliveira remains a dangerous and unpredictable threat, Welch ultimately sees Holloway using his experience and precision to secure the victory.
I think Max Holloway. Charles Oliveira is going to come out there, put the pedal to the metal, make it just a hectic fight, come out there with that pressure. I think Max Holloway is going to have a little bit crisper boxing, be a little more fancy with his feet. And I don't think he's going to get overwhelmed with Charles Oliveira's pressure. I think he's going to be prepared for that. He's been fighting so long with such elite guys. He's going to be prepared for that pressure. But Charles Oliveira, I mean, that dude is so gnarly. So I think Max Holloway is going to get it done.
Meanwhile, Alexander Volkanovski predicts a fight that won't go the distance, expecting a decisive finish. He sees two possibilities: Charles Oliveira landing an early stoppage, or Max Holloway gradually taking control and ending it in the later rounds. Volkanovski leans toward Holloway securing a late stoppage, rather than leaving the outcome in the hands of the judges.
Max Holloway, you go 100%. Now he is gonna get you tired. And he's one guy that knows how to capitalize on someone being tired. If he sees you tired, he's going to make you pay more and more and more, and he can definitely mentally and physically break you down. Does that give him opportunities to get the finish? I am going to say yes. I think Max is going to be the favorite. I think you'll get some better value at him getting the finish. I think he can get the finish. So he's favorite? Oh shit, big favorite, hot favorite. Okay, hot favorite. So let's go finish. I think he can get the finish. I think the later rounds he gets the finish. I think I can definitely see a finish in the 3rd or 4th round even. I can definitely see it. I think Max Holloway can definitely start to do that, start to land, get in a position where, you know, Charles is more shelling up, trying to grab, not really working. And you can just see Max just start getting the finish and the refs just sort of stopping it.
Volkanovski believes the fight will be decided in the later rounds. He hopes Holloway can rely on his experience and toughness to hold on and successfully defend his belt.
You know, just again, it's just Max is that type of guy that can put that type of pace on you. Charles is going to be dangerous enough to, you know, put him in danger, but the only thing is, you can't do that for 5 rounds with someone like Max. And so either Charles lands and gets a finish early, or he gets finished in them later rounds. That's what I'm thinking. Can it go a decision? Of course it can. You know? But I just think that I'm leaning more towards a finish than a decision for Max.
Similarly, Justin Gaethje sides with Max Holloway in the matchup against Charles Oliveira, admitting that national pride influences his pick. While recognizing Oliveira's skills, Gaethje leans toward Holloway, favoring the American to come out on top.
Who you got, Oliveira or Holloway, Max?
I mean, I'm definitely gonna cheer for the American.
You're a true patriot.
Yeah, well, if I have to choose, I'm gonna choose the American over the corner.
Max Holloway also warns he won't shy away from taking the fight to the ground against Charles Oliveira. Holloway points out that claiming the BMF title means confronting a submission specialist head-on, and he's ready to do exactly that.
As part of you want to go to the ground with Charles Oliveira on March 7th?
We see what happens, you know. Never say never. I know. You know, my coaches just keep killing me, keep seeing interviews of me talking about jiu-jitsu and, you know, subbing him and whatever, and they laugh. But, you know, at the end of the day, I've been saying, you know, and people call me crazy, is like, you know, the BMF thing to do would be to submit a submission artist. So, and I'll never say never, you know. I'm gonna go out there find my fight done.
Meanwhile, Eric Nixick expects a technical chess match, noting that both fighters use their length effectively. Nixick explains that Charles Oliveira's best chance may come from mixing in takedowns, since Max Holloway is difficult to control and rarely stays on the mat for long. Eric believes Oliveira could create danger during transitions, especially with front headlock attacks if the grappling exchanges appear. Still, Nixick leans toward Holloway. He points to Max's movement, stance switching, and versatile skill set, believing Holloway's style makes him harder to pin down and gives him the advantage.
Man, you know, I think it's going to be a good chess match between guys who utilize their length really well. And also, like, I feel like for Charles, how can he mix in some of those takedowns and fit-ins? Because Max Holloway is a guy that just, you know, he doesn't really get taken down, and when he does, he's not on the ground very long. So transitional submissions, I think for Charles, if he can be able to get some front headlock series stuff on Max. But I think for me, I lean more towards Max just because of his style and his ability to be in and out of both stances and not really in one place at one time. And, you know, so, oh man, what is that, March 4th? So we're coming up on March 7th. Yeah, pretty quick, man. So great fight. I'm excited for it. Yeah, I lean towards Max just because I think of his all-around skill set.
Alex Perez also gives Max Holloway the edge over Charles Oliveira, despite Oliveira's strong submission game. Perez points out that Oliveira isn't a wrestler and won't likely control Max on the ground, while Holloway avoids takedowns and thrives on volume striking. He notes that Oliveira has more tools but often gets caught or dropped, making him vulnerable. For Perez, Holloway's precision and consistency give him the advantage, setting the stage for Max to assert himself and take revenge in the fight.
I think Charles is going to be Charles, very good submission game, but it's not a wrestler. He's not going to be able to take him down and do that, you know. And Max ain't going to take him down. I think Max is more of a volume striker, puncher. I think Charles has more weapons, but Charles does get touched a lot, and he I think in every fight since I can remember, he's been dropped, you know. So besides the last one, but usually like every fight he gets touched and he gets dropped, whether it's early in the fight or late in the fight. But I give Max the edge.
However, Arman Tsarukyan favors Charles Oliveira to get the win over Max Holloway, even while noting Oliveira's unpredictable performances, aiming to erase the memory of their first split decision clash and show that Oliveira's previous success wasn't accidental.
Твой прогноз на бой за титул БМФ Оливейра Холлоуэй. Как пройдет бой, кто выиграет?
От боя зависит. Оливейра иногда просто выходит, так плохо дерется, иногда выходит просто там нереально дерется. Непонятно от настроения человека. Так что, но я все равно больше склоняюсь, что Оливейра сможет выиграть.
Тебе потенциально было бы интересно подраться с победителем, если бы UFC гарантировала, что это будет следующий претендент на пояс?
Да, конечно, было бы интересно подраться. И надеюсь, что Оливейра выиграет. У нас есть предыстория. И сделать реванш. Люди некоторые говорят, что я там сплит decision выиграл, но я считаю, что я выиграл единогласно все раунды, доминировал. И просто зафинишировать его и показать людям, что это не было случайностью. Это было реально, что я даже на тот момент, 2 года назад, был выше классом, чем он.
On the other hand, Alexander Volkanovski further raised doubts about whether Max Holloway remains in his prime. While he acknowledged that Holloway's technical skills still look sharp, Volkanovski noted subtle physical declines compared to his earlier years.
Is Max in his prime? I'm saying is his chin exactly the same as you? I don't know. So I know it used to be just a granite chin, and then I reckon his skills are fucking just as much as his skills are like in prime, but maybe there's other bits that just maybe declined a little bit. So it would be hard to say he's in his prime, but he's still right there, pretty much in his prime. So pretty much, yeah, you could say he's pretty much in his prime. Fighting Conor McGregor, I don't know. You know what I mean? That's a tricky one.
Max Holloway admitted that time is starting to show, saying he no longer feels as unstoppable as in his younger days. He reflected on his past self, full of energy and ready to bulldoze through anything, contrasting it with his present where he's more mindful of his limits and recovery.
Of course I can feel the difference, you know. I'm 34 now.
Damn, you're 34?
Yeah.
I'm about to be 40, you're still. You're like, I'm 34. I fight for 10 years.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm 34 now, bro, and you can say this too, right? Our body feel way different. You know, when I was like 20, 24, I feel like I could run to a brick wall. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. Now at this age, I'm like, that brick wall better be made out of foam or something if I'm running through it, please, you know? Because, man, I feel it, but it is what it is, you know, all jokes aside. It comes with age, and it just comes with IQ and fighting IQ, and I think just like you, Mighty, I think you was ahead of your time, you know what I mean? I feel like you was ahead of your time when you was coming up, and that's why you did what you did, you know? And I feel like I did a lot of stuff that I had to do. I like to replicate a lot of my stuff, or even mindset things around the way that you would say. You'd give us little sneak peeks here and there to your career. Guys like us, we should listen, because, you know, if you was doing this at such a high level, then why can't I?
On the other hand, Arman Zahabi leans toward Max Holloway, recalling that their first fight ended unusually with Oliveira's shoulder injury, making it hard to draw conclusions. Zahabi believes Max's striking will overwhelm Oliveira, pointing to Holloway's range, precision, and durable chin. He doubts Oliveira can secure a takedown or submission, giving Max the clear advantage on the feet. While recognizing Oliveira's threat, Zahabi feels Holloway's skills put him ahead, estimating the fight around 60-40 in Max's favor.
Yeah, you know, I can't even remember who won the first fight. Who won the first one? Oh, that's the one where his shoulder gave out. Yeah. No, I remember that. Yeah, that was weird. I mean, you can't really go off that. Now I remember, now that you brought it up. Yeah, no, that one was brutal. I mean, listen, I'm going with Max. People may not like that answer. I don't know, is he the favorite or not? I have no idea. Yeah, but I just think his striking is going to be too much for him. And, you know, he's got great range, he's got a great chin. I don't think Oliveira is going to take him down and sub him. I just don't see that happening. I think that Max has got the advantage on the feet, but you never know with Oliveira. You know, another great fight, I would say, you know, Max has got the advantage. I think 60-40 for Max.
MMA Guru also previews the Holloway versus Oliveira rematch, tipping Oliveira to seize the victory. They suggest Holloway may lack the firepower to seriously trouble Oliveira and could struggle to dictate the early rounds, opening the door for Oliveira to assert control. The expert sees this as a chance for Oliveira to make a bold statement and deliver a rare defeat to Holloway.
Saw someone suggest Holloway versus Oliveira 2 at lightweight. Who do I think would win that? I think Oliveira would win against Holloway at this point. You got to have power to beat Oliveira, in my opinion, and Holloway just doesn't have that pop in his shots. So he couldn't bully Oliveira early on. And I think he would give up. He'd be on the back foot and he would give up some kind of back position. So I'd go Oliveira, but, you know, that'd be a good one for Oliveira, try and get a loss off of his resume.
The MMA world is focused on the clash between Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira, with many experts tipping Holloway to come out on top. Commentators point to his sharp striking, relentless pace and ability to control the fight, while Oliveira's susceptibility to being caught raises concern. Holloway's career achievements also cement him among the sport's featherweight legends, often mentioned in the same breath as Jose Aldo and Alexander Volkanovski.
You think it's going to be one-way traffic. Who's directing it and why?
I think Max Holloway is about to beat the soul out of Charles Oliveira. I think this move up to lightweight is huge for him. He has more power. He drops Dustin Poirier in their third fight in the first round. I would pick Ilia Topuria to beat him if they end up running it back. But at 155, if he gets this win, like, maybe I'm more interested. He's got pop in his shots now. And I think that's just hugely problematic for Charles, who's never had a great chin. I think he's lost 11 fights and 9 of them he's been stopped.
I'm favoring Max too. It's almost like a muscle memory type thing. Once he starts getting into a rhythm, we saw that with the Justin Gaethje fight. He's so good when he starts to really get his timing, and I do think Oliveira looks a little bit like he's slipping at a faster rate than Max.
He gets hit a lot.
I mean, Max gets hit a lot too. To do what he did against Gaethje at 300, you're like, dude, this guy is beyond remarkable.
One of the 10 greatest fighters of all time, which is insane because I think 3 of the 10 greatest fighters of all time are featherweight.
That wraps up today's video. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.